Key point 1. A change starts with a thought. If the entire world is the product of the mind, can you imagine the power of thinking? Virtually all things in our lives happen because we create them inside our heads first. In his book Sapiens, Dr. Yuval Noah Harari explores how our capacity for abstract thinking and belief in concepts such as big corporations and human rights have structured the world order. Create with your mind because the way you think shapes your life. Humanity's progress comes from experiencing discomfort or fear. Let's give our best regards to evolution for that. Each of us has these unpleasant feelings that trigger us to evolve. An example is the progress in medicine, which is a byproduct of our fear of death. We take steps forward because we're unsatisfied with where we stand. Suffering is more than just discomfort. It's an itch that persists like a tiny speck of dust lodged in your eye. You feel desperate to flush it out, but don't seek comfort too quickly. Instead, try to confront the discomfort and view it as an opportunity for growth and creation. Embrace it as a sign that this very challenge requires your focused attention and thoughtful contemplation. Mastering thinking is the core of what it means to be human. It's the source of knowing how to feel, love, create, enjoy, give, receive, and coexist with all the particles of our universe. Thoughts brought together are ideas, and ideas change lives. So stay tuned because we're here to deliver the most splendid ideas from 101 essays that will change the way you think, encompassing a variety of subjects: mental health, relationships, mind, good life, and inner world. Get ready to unravel the most life-changing thoughts from the essays we have chosen just for you. Key point 2. We exist amidst a stream of fleeting experiences. Since ancient times, each person's wishes and needs have been predetermined by their culture. In other words, a dozen of our beliefs were already waiting for us to embrace them before we were ever born. We hear so many good, bad, normal, or you should statements before even having a chance to figure these norms out by ourselves. But accepting these beliefs instead of exploring things independently stops us from creating the life we want. Our family, friends, school, and country handed us our life instructions on a plate, showing us what love is, what should make us happy, and what being smart means. However, our brains aren't sure what's best for us, so they behave like magnets, attracting everything familiar. And of course, no dictionary in the world will show a direct connection between familiar and good. We detach from reality by living in our illusions and expectations. We measure worth by the conquered mountains and think success is the summit, but it's not. There's no arrival to constant satisfaction or a happy utopian experience because life unfolds in the present moment, where everything is fleeting and evolving. Amidst this dynamic landscape, we experience a full spectrum of emotions regardless of external circumstances. Your scope of different feelings will always be with you, but the things provoking those emotions will constantly change. As a child, you got sad when your ice cream fell to the ground. Now, you get sad when it's hard to find purpose in that refreshing treat. Pay attention to what each moment represents and steer your mind away from regrets and unpleasant what-ifs. Creating happiness in life may entail facing fear and pain, yet these emotions aren't necessarily negative signs. They often serve as guides, signaling us to explore the complex or unfamiliar. In whatever we do, it's essential to be open to a variety of emotions. If you want to change your life, change your beliefs. If you want to change your beliefs, go out and have experiences that make them real to you. Brianna Wiest. Our past does not determine the verdict of who we are or will be. We dictate it by choosing how we think about it or by working on our perception. Key point 3. Feelings are our compass. Fluid waves of feelings create tons of impulses, and we must be careful and reasonable about whether to act on them or let them vanish. Resistance and sacrifice might also be the components of genuine happiness. To manage the emotional waves, feed your mood with routine and conscious decisions about your actions. Habits are the opposite of the unknown. Cultivating them fills you with enjoyment, ease, and stability. When you engage in routine, you let go of fear and fully savor the moment, as routine offers a sense of safety and meaning. It also helps you trust yourself more by reaffirming your decisions. Without routine, you open the door to procrastination impulses. Above all, remember that your emotions are your property and creation. They come from inside, which gives you the power and responsibility over them. They might not be an objective representation of reality, but of your inner world, which means you can choose to feel happier, but you don't have to all the time. Sometimes you can just exist or travel the emotional spectrum freely. Treat your mind like the most sacred place. Not every thought can come in and stay. Emotional intelligence isn't a magical cure for unhappiness. It allows you to simply feel. Suffering intensifies between resistance and events. So accept that the feeling that the worst thing that could happen will happen shall pass. When seeking guidance or advice, engaging in a conversation with your feelings is important. They are not to be dismissed or changed hastily because they serve as a means of communicating with yourself. Embrace a mindset that prioritizes listening to your bad feelings rather than attempting to suppress them. For instance, feeling anxious could indicate that you're striving for an unrealistic level of control, something beyond what is attainable for us as humans. Similarly, feelings of fatigue might signal resistance to your authentic self, highlighting the need to address and understand the underlying causes. Happiness is an intention, a mindful choice, and a daily commitment to appreciate. It's not a faraway destination. It's right here. Just reach out and touch it. With the acceptance of where you are now, you can notice and feel joy. Happiness is also in the endings. Just like eventual death gives our life more significance and sense, ends make the moments more precious. You can cultivate happiness inside of you by nourishing love, belonging, and purpose. Your personality consists of learned behaviors and familiar patterns, but they don't have to be parts of you if you don't want them. You can create unique experiences and believe in new things. Let your feelings guide you. Key point 4. Truly seeing the present is a way to peace. There are different kinds of happiness. Pleasure, when you smile while enjoying the sun or a delicious breakfast. Grace, when you feel grateful for what you have. Excellence, when you strive for something bigger, pursue a purpose, and build your identity. There are so many concepts and ideas on what it means to have a good and happy life. Cover your ears and close your eyes for a moment. Now listen to yourself. What does having a good life mean to you? Our culture puts individual accomplishment on the throne of fulfilled existence. The human default settings are to achieve, be more, possess, get, and do. But try to distance yourself from this mindset. If you were to describe your sense of fulfillment in a few words, what would it be? Do you enjoy it and want to keep it this way? Leading a good and happy life is about much more than just accomplishing business goals or ticking off tasks on the to-do list. Remember to cherish the small moments of joy, like feeling the sun on your shoulders or experiencing little bits of daily magic, such as a child's giggle. When your journey towards success becomes challenging, don't overlook the power of simple pleasures. A delicious coffee, a warm smile, an insightful thought, or a peaceful walk. Notice these moments of enjoyment and let them guide you along the way. Ask yourself, what is a reason to feel content right this second? There's always at least one. Avoid rushing too swiftly through the cycle of desires. Instead, embrace the essence of being human and finding meaning in simply being yourself rather than constantly striving to be more than what you are. The craving to be more might be an avoidance mechanism your ego constructed to refuse to face reality and engage with it. Sometimes people find it unbearable to look inside themselves, so they avoid it by constantly creating more of who they are. However, a good life is accepting the fuss, chaos, mess, and simplicity that is you. Acceptance of reality stops resistance and resentment against the way things are, which saves your energy and creates peace. How many beautiful or peaceful moments have you lost by focusing on your past or future? We are around an immense amount of information and distractions. All we have is now, so make the present moment a priority. Key point 5. You can't earn love, but you can learn it. It might seem like an easy escape to employ someone to love you so you don't have to. After all, if another person says all those beautiful things about you, the responsibility must be off your shoulders, right? YouTube has become home for videos on how to get love and affection. But in our quest for love, we often forget about giving it in return. Nevertheless, remember that love is like a liquid running through your veins, nourishing all the parts of your inner world. Love is your possession. It's your mix of feelings, choices, and actions. You are the only validator of your emotions, and love has a right to exist, regardless if it's returned. Somebody else's behavior does not indicate whether you are worthy of love. Just like the money from another person's pocket has nothing to do with your financial abilities, the feelings of another person's inner world have nothing to do with who you are or what you can feel. So don't wait for permission from someone to experience love. If it's inside of you, express it. It's the only way to be free and move on if needed. Feelings won't imprison you if you let them be. You think that love is just a good feeling when love is really a consistent state of being in communion with body, mind, and soul. Brianna Wiest. Love is a profound connection that acts as a mirror, revealing your true self. It's not merely a response to random events, but a choice you make. Love is what you cultivate, and once it's no longer nourished, it goes away. Moreover, love can't save or fix us, but it can intensify what we already have and show us who we are. With its help, we can see what angers us, excites us and what we don't give ourselves. Love is a reciprocal exchange of emotions, energy, and care, not an attempt to fill personal voids. It's a passionate flame ignited by two whole souls who willingly give instead of using each other. Love is a verb, so act. Love is not something we demand from others. It is something we create from within ourselves. Did you know? To find love, resolve your inner barriers that don't let you see, accept, and express it. Key point 6. Pain will be your friend if you let it. Living a happy life is a project that requires constant creation. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, but nobody knows what picture you're trying to make. So don't fear feeling like you don't know what you're doing. You're just putting pieces of your puzzle together one by one. There's no rush to have your future figured out. Every new day presents you with an opportunity to ask yourself what you want. Don't limit yourself to one image of how life can be. Leave space for new choices, changes, and reflection. The only constant is change. It helps us adapt and return to the state of being we created within. We can foster happiness with self-care, gratitude, mindfulness, and everything else that makes up a bridge from our inner selves to the outside world. Everything has a duality. Our highs find meaning in contrast to the lows we experience. This pattern of creation and destruction echoes not just within us, but in nature too. As much as we might wish otherwise, pain is an inescapable part of our human existence. However, we can learn to understand it. It's an essential component of our well-being and a crucial warning. Just as pain guides us in the physical realm, where does your emotional hurt lead you? Interestingly, the contrary to pain isn't joy. It's acceptance. Pain is a voice to listen to. It's a push to move and grow. Here's why. To suffer requires a choice. Suffering arises from resisting pain. By ceasing to resist and acknowledging the discomfort, you can gain insight into why you feel the pain and where it guides you. Discomfort from pain stimulates one to look for comfort elsewhere. That's how we can enter the unknown rather than choosing something familiar from the past. Imagine yourself in a gallery. You control the lens through which you see the paintings, not the paintings themselves. The same suffering teaches us about the world. Your breakdown might be your subconsciousness guiding you and giving you instincts for better changes. Pain indicates that something is wrong, and it's there to help you. Find out what needs you must fulfill or resolve. Conclusion. Our brains make us the hunters of familiarity. We're better off with familiar burdens than finding happiness in the unknown. But the unknown is the hall we must pass for our growth and dreams. Be aware of who you are right now and how you can enjoy the existence of the present moment. Appreciation will not come from future plans, fulfilled expectations, or how many trajectories you completed. It will enter your life if you let it from the things around you right now. We give more credit to the outcomes and surface rather than to the content. However, outcomes are fleeting glimpses. The content we fill our day-to-day lives with is what matters. External possessions cannot truly fill the void within you. Material things cannot provide lasting sustenance. Your perception and inner experience bring true fulfillment and inner peace. This feeling is the state free of constantly craving more highs and suppressing the lows. Leave the race of chasing happiness. If you thought you were running to something superior, you are just trying to outrun yourself. Your mind is the producer of everything. Master it, nourish it, and keep it active. This way, you can influence your well-being. Try this. To create the life you want, you must know yourself. Take time to reflect on these matters to clarify your directions. What would your ideal day look like? Be as detailed as possible, paying credits to routine rather than accomplishments. Make a list of as few things as possible you need to feel happy. Simplify it as much as you can. Then examine your list to decide which items could be eliminated and highlight the essentials to understand what matters the most.